The Mel Carmine Show begins in just 1 minute. Support the movement. Visit QFS1776.com for exclusive one-of-a-kind merch that makes a powerful statement. Protect your wealth. Cash is trash. Go to carminesgold.com and secure real assets, silver, gold, delivered anywhere in the U.S. Text Mel at 786-704-8817. Looking to acquire XRP? Minimum is $10,000 investment, and there is no limit, even up to $100 million worth. Again, text Mel with full details at 786-704-8817 and allow up to 24 hours for a response. And if by chance you're visiting Cape Canaveral or you are a local, visit stayingalive.com, alive with 2 E's, and recharge your body at the cellular level. The show with your host, Mel Carmine, starts right now. Well, XRP Shaman, welcome back to the show, and it's a pleasure developing you as we're trying to develop as many street soldiers as possible. I'm very serious when I say, not to get off track, we're going to get on the Nasara subject here, because that's where we left off, that I want to develop as many people as I see have talent. Now, if he doesn't get a channel here in the next, 2-3 months, and he's wasting a lot of time, then I'm going to move on to the next guy. But I think you're going to get a channel and you're going to get going. You'll come here in 25 minutes. Amber will teach you exactly how to press all the buttons. It's like we're going to train you to be a monkey. You're going to press buttons. You're going to press the same buttons over and over and over and over again. And you're a podcaster, then you just got to record, invite people to your podcast, because he's very talented. And don't forget to join his channel, which is his Telegram channel called The XRP Shaman, THE XRP Shaman. Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. And the last time we did that, he grew by almost 200 new members on that channel, which is great. Hopefully, we'll get another 200. So the XRP $500,000. There is a plan called Nasara. A lot of people think it's hokey pokey. It's not. It could be disguised as DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, also known as Department of Jasara, which starts with GE. I think if you read the document, that plan screams that everybody in America should be wealthy, healthy, live, to be a long, long time. It talks, and we have it actually at QFS1776.com. And all of our social medias linked up at the top. If you want to know about the trust, you can click the trust and it tells you all about that too. And so when you go to QFS1776.com, there is a 30 videos. And by the time you get down to the bottom, you have a free education, it's free. We don't charge you anything on how this is going to all evolve and what is the role of XRP, et cetera, and Jasara. When you get down to the number 9, it's not a video, it's the actual document. It's the original document, which was found by one of our beloved, guys that works inside our Telegram channels, administrators from France. I think his name is Mirko. And thank you, Mirko, which we missed this guy immensely. And but anyway, needless to say, that document was the original document that was written verbatim, and I don't know how he found it, but he did.
You mean the actual Nasara document?
The actual original Jasara document, the way it's written back in 1959. We have the original.
That guy, okay.
Yeah. So when we released that document, I remember a long time ago, Whiplash and Emily and Captain Kyle, all these people went nuts. People passed that thing around like a joint at a Grateful Dead concert.
Yes,
okay?
I do remember seeing that.
Yeah. And so when you read that document, you understand it talks about flying machines. It talks about celestial chambers, which is technology that prolongs health and life immensely. When you read that document and it talks about how there should be no taxation, that everybody should be wealthy, is there a plan that this $500,000 XRP comes like this? We go from $5 to $500,000 because we're all supposed to be wealthy? Because that was the plan under McKinley. You go study that and you'll find out that is absolute truth, absolute gospel. That was the plan, to make America so wealthy beyond anybody's wildest dreams. They were talking about creating billionaires and multi-billionaires back then during McKinley, which is all run on tariffs, which is what we're running on right now. You're starting to see the price at the pump drastically being reduced. Number one, you're starting to see the price of food starting to come down. Inflation looks like is going to go under control. You're starting to see the price of silver, which I believe silver wholeheartedly is going to be the Bitcoin of the metals. Okay, you said Bick Swear said that there's a possibility that one day that silver will be worth more than gold, right? So, Shaman, welcome back to the show. Your first two shows were unbelievable. Obviously, you had all the naysayers and all the people that have to, the basement dwellers, as I like to call them. You guys should go get your own channel, and then we can critique you and we can criticize you. It's not easy what we do, but welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
Let's talk about how Nasara Jasara could fit into an overnight $500,000 XRP if such a plan exists, and if Donald Trump has even that power to influence Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, and whoever's in power behind the curtain, say, hey, I need that XRP to go from $5 to 500,000, and it's got to happen this week. I don't want to hear no shit, right? Is there such a plan? I don't know. Personally,
you have to understand you're bringing 15 different things into this.
I am.
Right. So understand what happened first. Mm-hmm. In 1993, if you remember back in the day, we had these things going on called Farm Aid. You remember that? Mm-hmm. What that money was being done was being to pay back the attorneys that were fighting these back. This whole court case started in the 70s because they were taking the farmlands away from the. After you died, there was no you couldn't deed it to your son.
Right.
So they were taking back these large parcels and they were getting the properties back. They fought it and they won in 1993. We won the court case. Mm-hmm. And that's where that money was going, that from Farm Aid. So in the process, of course, our judicial system has a 5-year appeal thing. So they appealed in 94 and it took 5 years. In 98, I believe they won it back to where they won the appeal. That means they had to pay for everything, all the court costs and everything. And in the process, now in 1994 though, and I've published these in my channel, they were front page articles out of papers from 1994 that basically gave you the payback schedule at that age of what they were predicting were going to be monies that were going to be paid back to us based on Nasara.
Right.
Now, right. So there are 4 areas in which we're going to get money back. One of them has to do with a future thing you're doing. Another one is the income, interests, and all of that stuff that we've paid, all the taxes we've paid, as well as they're going to reward us for the amount of suffering that we've had from a humanity aspect, because they have basically stole from us pretty much from the beginning of time. If you look at how long this has been going on, it goes all the way back to the Nephilims, which is basically the fallen angels. That's where that power structure started. In doing so, it all evolved into the Roman Empire, which the Roman Catholic Church, and now it's where it is now. So in aspects, they finally beat it. And that's what was really supposed to happen. I'm sorry for all you people that don't know about 9/11, but it was, for me, it was a retaliation of them to not give up their financial control over the world. And they were saying, no, we're not giving it back, even though they had agreed to give it back. And from what we know, there was $22 trillion in Building 7. That's why it was the first building to come straight down. And then the other 2s went down. Now we also understand that the buildings were designed as tuning forks. It was done by Rockefeller. It all kind of makes sense. They moved everything into those buildings weeks before so that they could get rid of all of the information in those buildings, because it was all tied to the financial bank stuff. We know the whole story. Anyway, So, in knowing this, I think there was a plan back then to use the existing banking systems and just take them over. But in what they did, I think they took a different approach in which they could have a different design as far as the way the banking system works. I think we use a debt-based system. They want to use debt as an asset in this new system. But in understanding the whole structure of XRP, XRP is our sovereign token. It is the sovereign token for the global financial system of the world. Meaning, we're running the ledger, the XRP ledger, which is an accounting system. In that ledger, basically the final transaction is done with the base token that's designed for the accounting system, which the ledger basically uses XRP. That's why it's the XRP ledger. So in doing so, that final accounting transaction is conveyed with using XRP. And we know that'll be worth a lot of money. I'm not sure because the ledger is also being used from a retail perspective. So I know XLM is being played into that from some aspect. That's why XLM and XRP are both stable coins. Now, the reason I say that is only because we've been shown it from way back, way back. And if you paid attention and you saw what they were showing us, they showed us that XRP and XLM will be stable coins and that the IMF will control the price of XLM and XRP. Why? Because what controls all the currencies in the world now? The IMF. That's who did.
And the U.S. dollar, which is the
Well, no. I'm meaning like what the dollar is compared to the yen, and the yen to the pound, and the.
But the dollar is the reserve currency of the world. They transact oil, everything that is worth anything. It goes through the dollar, right?
Right, but I'm
and
saying
XRP, I think, is going to change that role where everything's going to go through the XRP. I think at some point, because you get some videos way back, 9-10 years ago when we first, Amber and I started this journey, you see clearly there's been more than one person high up as even yours truly, Brad Garlinghouse, saying that XRP is going to be a global reserve currency.
Correct.
Is that a possibility that it could become the new American dollar?
So in the way the system's going to work is XRP is only going to be used by the banks in order to move large amounts of money over 25 million.
Right.
Right. Everything under 25 million, which if you look at Fed now, its limit is 25 million.
And it makes a lot of sense that they would want to be able to move as much volume of money with the least amount of XRP as a banker, as a banking entity that survives this crazy war. Now, when you look at it from, my standpoint, where I like to have one foot in the old world and understand how devious these banksters are and how devious these people are, and then you got a foot in the new world saying, okay, maybe there's a plan to make it. And that, believe me, I would love for your scenario to be the one that actually manifests and becomes real, and not the one that I think will play out. I think, like I said earlier, and I continue to argue my argument, it's really not an argument because we're friends, but I think at the $200 price tag, which a lot of people will probably say, Mel, you're crazy. XRP is never going to reach $200, right? Am I right or am I wrong? How many people can't see past $20? How many people can't see past $30, $40, $50? At $200, providing it hits those numbers, and you and I believe that it will, even in the three-dimensional world, let's say that your part of the equation never happens. At $200, man, I would be willing to bet a lot that they get 99.8888% of everybody, right? At $200. History necessarily doesn't rhyme, but it does repeat. This has happened with Bitcoin. Go back in history. I know friends of mine personally who sold Bitcoin at $30 thinking that it would never in their wildest dreams go beyond $30. And they became multimillionaires. They're living in Thailand. They're living in the Philippines, multimillionaires on Bitcoin at $30 because they bought it in at pennies.
Right.
Right. Same thing's going to happen with XRP, providing it's the one. We believe it is. Now, how many people would have ever thought that Bitcoin, where many people sold it at 330, I got a Bitcoin gazillionaire sitting in the room right here, right now. She's a dear friend of mine. Maybe one day we'll do a podcast with her and we'll let some, she's going to become very popular very fast. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, getting back on track here, how many people would have thought that, at $30 to hold on to it because it's going to hit 300?
Depends on when you bought it, how much gain you had in that. So what I want to say to you, though, is this. In understanding the fact that this Nasara thing is true, they've tried to do it before. That's what the $22 trillion, and that was just the start of the money that was supposed to be sent back to us, by the way. They took that, stole that out of that building, hauled that stuff, and from what I'm thinking, back behind dump trucks.
Right.
Right. So anyway, in the process, you got to look at the Nasara thing. So, and why would they want to buy our XRP back? Well, if you look at the amount of people, and that XRP rich list is very important for a lot of us. We've been tracking that thing for a long time. And we're seeing the larger wallets are dropping off. That means there's somebody selling it. But anyway, if you look at the amount of wallets that have more than 10,000 XRP, there are only 300,000 wallets with more than 10,000 XRP. That's not a lot of people.
It's not a lot.
Right.
The rest of the world
don't even know about it.
No, not only that, some of them don't, but the vast majority that do know about it are deadly afraid. They think this is like so complicated. Don't worry about how complicated it is. The most important thing about these asset classes is to buy it, put it on a cold wallet, never talk to anybody that tells you that they're Mel Carmine, because there's about 750 clones of me, and pretty soon when he gets popular, there'll be clones of him too, trying to get to your money. Lady called me,
God
not to get off
us.
subject, but I gotta say this. Lady called me day before yesterday or yesterday, I don't remember. But she said, Mel, I just put my money into the Quantum wallet. What do you think? And she sent me the link. Oh my God. I'm like, something Quantum wallet, blah, 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 ledger.com. She fell for it.
Did she really?
15,000 XRP.
Oh, man.
All right? Gone. I said,
Gone.
Look, there's no way that this guy's going to give you your money back. These are thieves. I mean, as loud as we yell, they don't listen. But there's these people that think it is so complicated. It's really not. The only thing that's complicated is don't let people come at you, tell you, hey, I'm Mel Carmine, or I'm so-and-so. They'll use famous names of people who are podcasters to get to your money. And they'll say you have to register your XRP in the Quantum Financial Systems wallet. It's a scam. It is a fucking scam. And a lot of people keep falling for it. Okay? The only thing you have to do is put it on your hardware wallet, talk to nobody. If you want to hang out in my Telegram group, my Telegram group, right, which is right down below as well, and you'd be crazy not to join, and you ask a few questions to the Patriots, they will answer, say, hey, don't do that. You're about to lose money. This lady, for example, if she was in my Telegram group, and before she pulled the trigger on that, she would ask one dumb question. Hey, I'm about to put my money into this Quantum wallet that ends with the word ledger.com. Should I do it? 92 people would have went at her in about 12 seconds or less. Don't do it.
Right.
You're about to get scammed.
Yeah.
And she would have saved herself a 15,000 XRP, which today is worth nothing. Today's worth, $30,000. Tomorrow it's worth $300 million.
Who knows? Right.
Right.
So let's go to the whole aspect of understand the XRP $500,000 price point. So we know that Val Hill Capital gave the Treasury three prices. A price of $35,000 in June of 2022. 2 months later, they gave them another price of $55,000, kind of a revived price.
I think it was sooner than that. I think it was a lot sooner than that.
It was about 2 months. It was, yeah. And then after that, I had heard that they were going to have another price they were recruiting some very prestigious.
You're talking about the podcast with James Rule XRP, and he appeared on that podcast, Jimmy Valley. and that was about 6-7 years ago.
No, this one
Original
was
35,000.
well. This one right here was the second price was 55, and then in 2023, around August, they gave the Treasury another price, and I personally asked Molly at the XRP Vegas one night. I said, "Was that really the price you guys gave them?" And the prices, she goes, I asked her this. I said, "Molly, is it true the price you and Jimmy gave the Treasury was 529,000 to 565,000?" And she looked right at me and she said, "Yes, that's true." And we had been hanging out that night, so she said, "Yeah, you have a good night tonight. I'll see you later." We ended up all hanging out together later on, but that was what she told me.
She's definitely a brilliant mind. I understand
Yeah.
she's not doing this anymore. She's not doing any podcasting regarding XRP, and she's literally given up on, not giving up on XRP, but just giving up on talking about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that they were at Swell when we were there. So
Right.
so she wasn't.
But does Jimmy Valley still have a group of people, a core group of people, where they're still moving forward on that
I'm
agenda?
sure Jimmy is involved in. I think he did a podcast recently. I saw him on.
Yeah. Hey guys, by the way, before I forget, if you want to see him, he's going to be on stage. It's either going to be this stage here, or it will be a stage downstairs, because we might move the entire event downstairs. Jerry Reed, who is blowing up, we're helping him blow up even more, who's about to hit 300,000 people on Facebook. He is a hoot. People are going to be coming from all over the United States, even international people are coming. And we're having a junior quantum summit, not the quantum summit, not the final quantum summit. That's going to be down the road when XRP is worth something. But we are March 27th, 28th, 29th. I don't know exactly how, but if you want, you can contact us here at Staying Alive with 2 E's at the end, Staying Alive with 2 E's, and get on the mailing list so that you could find out about the event. And also you can go to quantumsummit1776.com. It will be posted there in the next few days as well. And you'll be on stage with a panel, and we'll have Brian Monkey, who's also another wealth of knowledge, ready to be a podcaster like many, many, many years ago, who's not a podcaster. It's just very frustrating being me, because I want to get all these guys on the field. And my job here is very simple: get as many people as possible who are little people, just like average people like me and you, to become multi-billionaires.
I think we're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And owning XRP is a key. Owning precious metals is a key, of course, as we can see what's going on with silver. And I realized all that back in the beginning, that this was all going to be precious metal driven, with digital currencies as far as tied to them. So if we go back to this whole thing from a buyback, because that's where this 500,000 is coming. And I understand why Molly and them did that, and Jimmy, because basically Schwartz told us that XRP is using Fibonacci. And he told you that in 2030 that XRP will be $1 million.
I'm glad you went to 2030.
Right.
Do we have to wait till 2030 for full manifestation, you think? Or are we going to get partial this year, partial next year, and then 2030, that's the big climax?
What I'm thinking is this. I think we're very close to a crash. I'm not a date guy, but one date does stand out to me, which is the 012626, because that equals 17. And we were told about 4 years ago that Monday the 26th is very important. Okay, we were told that. We didn't know which one.
And today's what date?
We're on the
today's the 20th,
21st.
Right? 21st today?
Yeah.
Okay, today's January 21st, and you're talking in 3 days.
No, 20s. Well, we're going to see something on the 21st. I mean the 24th.
24th.
Right, and then on the 26th, we're supposed to And we don't know if that's
But
the Monday 26th.
Okay, what is the catalyst that's going to actually cause that to happen? Is there some turn of events that's happening?
Well, look at what's going on.
Is it the Genius Bill? Is it the Genius Act? What is it?
No, well, it's what is going on in the world right now, my friend. I mean, we've got wars everywhere.
You know, we were in front of the Senate the other day, right? Ripple XRP were in front of the Senate. What was that about? XRP took a dive just because of that stupidity.
Don't watch the charts, man.
Yeah, he's right. And I'm totally listening. I don't get depressed. I get encouraged, if anything, to buy more, because to us, it's always a price break. It's always a fire sale, and we just accumulate until the fucking cows come home. But the reality is, there was a hearing, and I got 18,000 things
right.
going
I heard
on,
about it too. Yeah.
Right. And I watched Brad Garlinghouse address the Senate, etc. I have no clue what that was about.
Where
the only thing I know is the price was $2.09.
Were they there?
I have no idea.
Where it was this Alana and all those other guys there? Were they there? Oh,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, there is no CEO of Bitcoin. You know that, right?
Right, I know that.
But what I'm saying is, XRP goes from $2.09 to $1.90.
$1.83. What?
$1.08, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
The number is nothing more than a distraction. This is undoubtedly kabuki theater on steroids.
Totally.
Kabuki theater on steroids.
Total controlled.
You're
everything.
in a movie, and they already know. There's maybe 10, 12, 15, 30 guys and gals upstairs. They already know the actual physical number. And it's got nothing to do with market cap. Market cap was something that was created by the Satoshi Nakamoto's behind the curtain.
I'm going to give you some very good knowledge here.
Mm-hmm.
When we went to that Ripple 2, we came back, there was a chart that came out. And I looked at that chart and I looked at it. And I was looking at what they had showing us there. And the reason I looked at it is because it was basically, it would be green, green, green. And then when it get up here, it would be red. And then it would go orange. That means it wasn't hitting liquidity. And then they showed at this price, it would be green, green, green. And then it would go to yellow. But in their little chart, they said yellow was acceptable. Meaning as far as, and right then, what they were showing us that at about $40 trillion daily, the price of XRP would have to be $589.
$589 or yes. $589,000?
$589.
Okay.
Right. If
that's, by the way, that's the cost of my movie. To watch my movie, which is coming out, Dear Mr. President, Show Me the Money. It's a movie about the straw man, okay, which every one of you is worth hundreds of millions, and we're going to prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt with irrevocable, irrefutable evidence in this movie that's coming up at the end of March. As a matter of fact, if you're coming to the summit, the junior summit, we're going to be doing the screening on that Sunday, which is the final Sunday of March. I believe it's the 29th or the 30th, I forget. But it's going to be an epic, epic movie. It is phenomenal. And it's going to be 2 hours and a half, 2 hours and 40 minutes. To tell the whole story, we could be 6 hours to tell the whole story the way it needs. But we give you enough meat and potatoes for you to put the rest of it together. But so that's the number we chose, $5.89.17.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, 589.
Everything
17, right? You know which team we're on, right? 17. So yeah, it's fun. We're having a lot of fun doing this. But in retrospect, I think Brad Garlinghouse, I think Chris Larson, I think David Schwartz, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, or at least the main, as he's told me personally to my face, that he's may very well be the main Satoshi. That's a whole other story.
Was that the same time that you asked him the question?
That's when I asked him in Vegas. Yeah,
and I was behind you, by the way.
Yeah, you were right behind me. That's right. And so was Bill. Bill was standing right here. You were right behind me.
Abs was right there in the.
Abs was there, and I said to my wife, "Hey, let's get this on camera. Let's go. Start
Holy
recording."
Crap, man, that was
phenomenal,
priceless.
Yeah. So they know what the number is, and the number is not based on what we want it to be so that we could be billionaires. No, it has to do with moving all the money, and all the money in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2030, 2040 is going to be a whole new meaning. And they have to be able to project out 20 years. What is the world going to look like in 20 years from now? And are we choosing a number that's too small? Or do they have to hedge their bet for what they can't see? What if the number, for example, for argument's sake, if I was the guy that knew what the number is, just to give you, and I think this makes sense even for the audience. Let's say, for example, for argument's sake, we come to the conclusion that we have to move $150 quadrillion a year, which is not out of the realm when you take into account that you got universal basic income. That's going to be a pretty high income from what I understand, because they want people to be comfortable. There's nothing wrong with people not working. That's not going to make them lazy. That's going to make them more creative, more productive with other things that you can't see now, because we don't live in that reality. We live in this reality, right? So stop going there. That's just the CIA brainwashing you with that lingo.
Well, there was a reason why those buildings were built the way they were, is because people didn't have to worry about money.
Exactly.
They put all their efforts into their craft.
So if I was one of the guys that's upstairs and I come to the conclusion, for argument's sake, this just for round numbers, just for shits and giggles, I say, okay, listen, for us to move all the money 2027, we can see 2028, we can see 2020, we can see all the way to 2030. We're going to need the XRP to be $100,000 for argument's sake. I'm just, playing devil's advocate here. Those guys, if they have any common sense, which I hope they do and I believe they do, right? They're going to say, wait a minute, we can't see 2030. In 2030, things could be so outrageous. Why don't we just make the XRP, for argument's sake, $500,000? And here comes your number into play.
But that's not, listen. Understand what XRP is. No, Mel, we can't use XRP. Once this all it's the sovereign token. It's used in the accounting system. The money that's being used for the global backing of financial money movement across the world is using XRP. We will not be able to work on those networks to utilize our XRP as an end user. We're not going to have, and they told us that. So you have to realize that that's what they told us, and that's all the way from the beginning. So understanding we will not be able to get on those rails, what's going to happen is I believe they're going to buy it back. And if you go to a few people that I feel is very prominent in this whole movement, and you go to their websites, one of them does podcasting on a weekly basis in his comment area, which he's the only one to comment. He's done it like 18 times over and over, the same comment. Yeah. In there, he says, if you want information about, and he's not supposed to be he's a silver guy. Right. So saying anything in there is kind of like, why is it in there? But he's saying, if you want information on the QFS or XRP or XLM or XRP buyback, you're like, what? And he's got it in there, kind of like saying XRP buyback, XRP buyback. So in all of Phil's films he's doing now, all of his stuff, he's got that in the comments sections. And he's never been the XRP guy. He's always been the silver guy.
I know that.
Right. And but we know he's Mr. Pool because he's Mr. Pool.
Well, I used to watch him religiously when I used to go to bed at night. There was two shows that I would watch religiously. It was either And We Know with LT, which I love LT.
Love that guy.
Okay. And I would like to know how he feels about our vice president, because he actually was in college with him.
Really?
And he was talking really good about him a year ago. I don't know if that's changed since, but I would like to know. And hopefully one day LT will be doing a show together. But and the other guy that I would watch would be yours truly, Phil Godlewski. Now, I take what Phil says with a grain of salt. And it was more for entertainment purposes for me personally than anything else.
Gotcha.
I like the guy. I think he's very charismatic. He's got an incredible following. I think the numbers are exaggerated. When one day I remember one of the fans basically talking to him saying, "Hey, Phil, how many people you got, watching you right now?" And he looked over, and you know how he's very dramatic, and he took like maybe, no bullshit, 3 minutes. It was like the 3 longest minutes of everyone's life trying to get him to, like, he's calculating numbers. And all of a sudden he turns around and with a straight face, he says, 89,762,000 people are watching me right now live. And the fucked up thing was, even though I know that that's a highly inflated number, which means you're more popular than Donald Trump, Trump Jr., the entire Trump family, and I'll throw in Joe Rogan, Patrick Bet-David, and who's that guy, the kickboxer with the bald head?
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
He just got his ass kicked, by the way. You know what I'm talking about. The guy that's fucking single and he's just, he's very three-dimensional. He's got like 17 Bugattis and he's got 120 cars. And,
Yeah, but I don't watch that guy.
anyway,
Oh yeah, he just got kicked.
he just got kicked in the ass, which probably is a good thing. But anyway, there's a lot of things I like about him, and there's a lot of things he talked about. I can't think of his name right now.
I know you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, you guys know him. Just put it down. We can't remember everybody's name, okay? Even though he's very popular. So you're telling me that Phil Godlewski is more popular than all of those people combined, because Donald Trump, as popular as he is, and he's the most popular person on earth under God.
Oh, so I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Go watch the movie Snowden. At the very end of the movie, you're going to...
Andrew Tate,
correct. You're going to see the cameo shot where Oliver Stone's in the second seat on the second row. He's in the first seat on the second row.
Right.
Then you also see the lady that was doing the interview in the movie Snowden, and right next to her, this is the cameo shot when the Snowden machine turns around to the audience, comes up.
Sure.
Right. Typical. And nobody in the whole audience moves. In fact, you got Stone like this, and then you got
Oliver Stone.
Right in that. So this is the kid. They're showing you everybody in there, and at the very bottom, you got the lady that did the interview with Snowden in the movie, and then right next to her is this kid with a hat on and glasses, and then you got a kid sitting right next to him, and he looks a lot like Ezra Cohen Watnick as a younger kid. Younger, but then you look at the guy beside him, it's Phil.
Interesting.
Right, because remember what Q told us, future proves the past. So after Phil told us that was him in it, you go back and you go, oh my gosh, it was. And who is he? He tells us that all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, we might as well make the announcement now. After we get done with Dear Mr. President, Show Me the Money, a movie about the straw man, there'll be a third movie in the works. But this movie is either going to be, it's going to be in segments, part 1, part 2, part 3, because it's going to be 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, or it'll be a 6-hour documentary. Okay? And it is going to blow your mind.
Oh my gosh, what have you thought about now?
It will blow your mind. As powerful as you think as, the one that had to do with censorship, and this one, this is going to be next level. This is going to be next level. This is, I would love to tell you, but you would have to sign a non-disclosure and a non-compete. Literally.
Is that good?
It's that powerful.
Listen, the last one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that powerful.
Because people need to understand what we've been through.
Yeah. Well, that last one got overshadowed by the Charlie Kirk shooting.
It kind of went in parallel with it to me. Because look what happened. A lot of that was censored too. All that stuff. Right.
Do you realize that movie, as well as it's done, because it literally hits below the belt on YouTube and all the social medias, not just YouTube. On YouTube, I watched it yesterday. I didn't watch it. I actually walked in, and it was on autoplay on my big screen TV. My boys, my 2 furry dogs, were watching the movie. I come in the middle of it, and I'm looking at it. I'm saying, shit, 729 fucking views. It's under 1,000 fucking views. I'm talking about a movie that is, it's 5 stars, isn't it? It's 5 stars all day long.
Good stuff.
Okay, it's great. It's a great movie. And because I hit under the belt, and I'm calling the social media oligarchies out, on censorship, I'm not allowed to go past 1,000 views. And so with that, I got pissed off at them, and I came with the Chinese version, the Italian version, the Spanish version, Chinese version, both Mandarin and Cantonese, by the way. The Russian version, French, German. I threw the kitchen sink at them. Okay, and hopefully, who knows? One day they'll dust it, take it off the shelf, and say this was created during this time, and maybe in the year 2062, you'll become popular. Who knows?
Could be.
That's the way it works with these things, right?
All right, so let's look at the whole Nasara thing too. I do believe they're going to buy our XRP back from us. My feelings, if they offer us, $550,000 to buy our XRP back, everybody's going to be jumping up and down because that's a lot of money, right? But in an essence, isn't it going to be worth $1 million in 2030? We're hearing that you're able to kind of come back and get the contract rate for your dinar. By the way, all this happens.
Let's talk about the dinars and the zims and
it
all of that.
It's going to happen at the same time. Look, we're building up. They're building up. Everybody's building up. I think it all goes down at the same time.
Brother, when it happens, just on my dinars and zims, I won't tell you the number, but it's a big number. You'll put Amber and I on easy street.
I mean, told you you're buying
that would be
jets,
that would be like I told you I'm gonna have them wrap me like a sushi roll in some mud and seaweed.
Yeah, and
put me in some refrigerator and hit me with all kinds of red light therapy, scalar light therapy, plasma med bed, everything all in one. I want one coming out of that thing glowing in the dark.
Yeah,
literally, you know what I mean. And I'm gonna probably take a couple months off because I need it. I may do like a podcast, like a 20-minute podcast, just to let the audience know, hey, I'm here. I didn't forget you. Yeah. I'm still here. But it'll be like a 20-minute powwow.
I'm on this vacation.
Done.
I'm here. Yeah.
Right?
And listen, a lot of us been walking this walk for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the 5 years I've been in Telegram, my initial quest was basically just to remember everything that was going on.
Right.
And one, it had a chronological order of kind of what we went through. And through the years, I've just kept posting it and posting and posting and posting to where now it's become very immense. No. So you basically have 5 years of back information.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that word, chronological order. Get me a memory jog. The website, QFS1776.com, we went out of our way. Amber and I spent months and months and months watching countless hours of videos. We try to find the most elementary videos and we put them in a chronological order specifically because we know that it's so difficult to understand. When you watch the first video at the very top, it's like, okay, we know these guys went out of their way to really make sure that they got not that people are dumb, but people have been dumbed down deliberately, intentionally, by design, etc. So, but we went out of our way so that people can understand this new financial system that's coming. When you watch those videos, you get down to the bottom, you get down to the last video. I should have like a freaking a test and give you like a diploma. You know what I mean? Say, hey, congratulations, you graduated.
Going back to your show or movie that you're putting together. Back about 4 years ago, we were shown in treasury.gov, you can put your birth certificate QSIP number in there, click on a few things, and basically back then you could see where you were being traded all over the world. I don't think you're able to do that now because they've turned a bunch of that off for us to see it. But I still have it loaded as one of my favorites in my URL.
Well, my wife, along with some people that I'm really not allowed to mention because I don't have they're okay to mention their names and who they are, but these are people you and I both know.
Right.
We've been to the same, functions, etc. And I could tell you that some of these people have paid bills, $30,000, $33,000, $35,000 credit card bills that went through.
Yeah.
Everybody got the receipt saying, thank you for the payment. Your payment was successful. We all got that receipt. 6 days later, we all get another email saying, no, you got to give us the money. And they don't give you any explanation, but we're going to show that in the movie. We're going to
remember kind of all that started and everybody when TikTok was doing that and going out there to see if they could get the money and all this stuff. Now, I looked at that whole thing as a different thing. What it was is, there's a lot of hurting people right now
Yeah.
financially. Yeah, I mean, just
Would it be nice to be able to pay our bills right now
right.
with our right now that a lot of people are hurting, okay? Would it be nice for somebody to be able to legitimately go and pay for their bills using
With
their
your
social
money.
security number, the money that they got holding, which is hundreds of millions, which is our money?
So-
which how do they get that money, by the way? When you get married, you have to get a marriage license. It's a bond.
Right.
When you get divorced, you got to get a divorce license. It's a bond. You get a parking ticket, it's a bond. You get a fishing license, it's a bond. You get a hunting license,
how
it's a
about
bond.
you graduated high school?
You graduate high school, it's a bond. Everything is a bond, and everything gets traded. And the monkeys out there on the street, where they're giving these cars with 18,000 fucking lights on, they look ridiculous. You guys look ridiculous, okay? 18,000 lights, like there's some kind of massive emergency. Some old lady just went 18 miles over the speed limit. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, so that speeding ticket, bond, everything is a bond. And they don't know that the guys upstairs are making a bunch of money using the shit out of you dumbasses who have basically 80 IQ. Most of you, it would be a compliment if you had 90, okay? And you don't know that you're being utilized, and you're making $70,000, $80,000 a year, $90,000 a year in 2026 you're like destitute. You can't make ends meet. You got your wife fighting with you. You're both alcoholics. You're fighting back and forth. Your highest divorce rate, but yet you don't stop to see if this guy and this guy are telling you the truth. If you did, you would arrest your superiors immediately. You would arrest all these fucking judges immediately. You know why? Because we are telling you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But you guys don't stop because they got you running. You're on the same fucking treadmill. You're on the same fucking hamster wheel as all of us. But some of us said, you know what? We're getting off the hamster wheel. Let's go investigate these cocksuckers. And here we are. Don't get me started, bro. Let's talk about the dinars. Let's talk about the dinars. Let's talk about the Zims. You know, there's a lot of numbers, again, being thrown out there that are exaggerated. A lot of them have to do with nothing more than greed. Hence the reason why people that hear, Mel Carmine just got in touch with me. He wants me to put my money, and they press all your greed buttons. They know exactly which buttons to press them, how to press them, when to press them, and next thing you know, you're partying with your XRP, thinking you're registering your XRP. It's the same people that want the dinars to be worth $14 to one. I think, look, I'm a realist. I would love that number to be real. Believe you me, I would love $14 to be real and not the realistic $3.39 that Mel Carmine thinks it's going to be at. You understand? I like 14 better than 3.39.
I heard 11
yeah.
and 17.
Okay. And I'm telling you, we went to war with Iraq, okay? And we allowed Iraq to have that war start. Saddam Hussein calls Bush Sr., and they said, hey, we got a problem. Kuwait just drilled a hole on their property line, okay? The problem is 90% of that oil sits underneath Iraq.
You know what? All that
and
stuff
that's how it started, right? So we allowed that whole entire thing to happen. A lot of people don't know the story because they're probably tuning in for the first time. Some people have heard the story ad nauseum, but we're telling it for the new people. So what happened was we allowed that war to take place, and they kept it completely hush-hush. And we went in, a lot of not me and you, because we were just deplorables. We were the useless eaters. I'm talking about your senators, your governors, your elite families, all the people in the know, and they kept it completely hush-hush. It wasn't supposed to leak out, and they did a great job at not making it leak out. And they bought the Kuwaiti dinars for fucking dirt, for dust, okay? Because they knew what? When the war is over, it's going to revalue. What did it revalue at? Gee, $3.30. $3.30
per dinar.
But the people who bought millions of those things made a fortune. But you were not allowed to know because you're a deplorable. Hence the reason why they're not allowing it to happen now, because they know that all the deplorables have on it. They're fighting tooth and nail. They're moving heaven and earth. They're moving mountains to make sure that you don't get that money. But Donald Trump is in charge. Eventually, we will get that money. You know who believes in this? You know a guy by the name of Economic Ninja?
Know him well.
Who I met him in Vegas at a private party.
Time? Okay.
At a private party. And him and I hit it off. I bought him a couple of drinks. We're sitting at the bar. There's pictures of us. There's videos of us, etc. He said the dinar is going to happen. But he says the same thing that Mel Carmine says. Feet on the ground, thinking on terra firma, logical sense, $3.30, maybe $3.50. That's it. Hey, you got 5 million dinars times $3.49, $3.30. That's not enough. It's got to be $17. Take it and run.
Move on. Yeah.
Oh, no, you have to negotiate the special rate, and everybody regurgitates the same fucking thing. Oh, you got to regurgitate because they're all a bunch of parakeets. There's no truth, logic, or common sense. No one's done any research. Show me where it says you have to research the special rate. Show me. I want to see it. I want to see it in documentation that is real documentation, not bullshit, right? Show me where it says to negotiate. Oh, we want the special rate. They're going to give a special penis up your ass. That's what they're going to give you. I think it's going to be $3.30, $3.50. I can believe those numbers. I can believe it. Oh, yeah, I've had people tell me that for the Zims, for example, it's going to be 1-to-1. Yeah, you have 100 trillion note. You're going to get $100 trillion. You have got to be, call 786-704-8817. Not call, but text me, and I will recommend you a very, very competent psychiatrist. You understand? There's no way that someone's going to give you, that is delusional. Yet there are people out there throwing those numbers out there like, yeah, like it's reality. This is the problem.
Iraq's first, right?
Yeah.
You do know why they're first.
Yeah.
Because in 1999, there was 10 countries in the world that did not have Federal Reserves. 7 were in the Middle East and 3 other countries. Iran, Syria, and North Korea.
Right.
There's your 10. Cuba was in there too, but they didn't count. So what we did is we went in there and took them all over and put a central bank in. So I feel the reason why they're picked first is kind of they were the last ones taken out.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that we put them back to normal, get them working. Right. So,
but for your Zims, for example, there are people saying they're going to give you this much for these are all numbers that someone has formulated. They created a nice story, a nice sales pitch that someone else copies it, makes it better. Some make it worse. It's the same story. Doesn't matter whether you hear from this guy or that guy without mentioning any names. You know who the guilty parties are. And it becomes comical after a point. Because listen, even if you were to get 1/100th of a penny, 0.0001, right? 3 zeros, 1/100th of a penny for every Zim note you have, you will be wealthy beyond your wildest dreams right now. 1/100th of a penny. I don't know what that comes out to, but all you mathematicians, put the number down below. 1/100th of a penny for every $100 trillion note, 100 trillion Zimbabwe notes. Put the number down below what that comes out to.
Didn't Trump give out a Zimbabwe note?
He did, and I'm still looking for you guys to look for that video. There was a video, and I watched every single episode, but I wasn't really paying attention back then because I wasn't really chasing wealth so much. I was more chasing women, I think, than wealth. But anyway, the bottom line is that he gave a $100 trillion Zimbabwe note to everybody on one episode, and he said, hold on to it. One day, this is going to be worth money. How much money? Nobody knows. He didn't say it's going to be worth $100 trillion.
Right.
But what I'm trying to tell you is that that episode happened. I'm trying to also tell you that episode got scrubbed off the internet because you, the deplorables, the useless eaters, are not supposed to know about it.
But listen, it just takes you back how far Trump's been involved in this.
Exactly.
Right.
So if anybody out there downloaded all of the Apprentice shows, please, I will absolutely make it worth your while. I will give you a gift that at some point it'll be worth something like a Zimbabwe note, okay? Send me a text message to 786-704-8817. Say, Mel, I have every episode of The Apprentice. Where do I send it? And I will personally call you and maybe even put you on a show.
You don't remember when it was, do you?
It was towards 1/3 of the way through, I think. There were so many seasons. I think it was like
12 or
season
something like that.
Yeah, it was like, it was ridiculous.
Right, it was crazy. And listen, why would they put him out in front of us like that back then?
Unless it was all part of the plan.
It was. You had to get, his name had to become known. Right, that's how they did it. Yep.
Yeah, but to me, a guy like, for example, like the Economic Ninja, who I follow, do I agree with everything he says? No, absolutely not. Okay, he doesn't think that silver, for example, is going to go past $200. You should sell it as soon as it gets to 125.
So him, he's having a battle with the AI silver
He
guy.
is.
Yeah.
He is. He's in a pissing contest with the Chinaman.
Yeah, but he's in a battle with an AI guy. Come on.
That's hysterical. Because the artificial intelligence guy is smarter than him, me, Economic Ninja, and whoever else you want to throw into that
I don't care
mix.
what they say. When it comes to silver, they're out of the silver. So everything that's driving this whole thing is they don't have it. So if you go on the dead clock and you look and it says 370.
One of the things that I've done through my life, besides owning pizza shops, I've owned several call centers, and I've ran several call centers. I started, running them. I actually started as a grunt on a phone like everybody else. But then when they realized, hey, this guy's good, let's promote him. And the next thing I know, I'm owning call centers, etc. And I could tell you that one day I landed a job, and I believe it was about 45 minutes from my house. I was living in Miami, and I landed a job. And I didn't have a lot of jobs, but I wanted to do this one because it had to do with silver, and silver was very intriguing to me, always. And we were selling silver contracts to silver that didn't fucking exist. When I found that out, I said, I'm out. Because I know that the FBI is going to come and a bunch of people are going to get arrested. But besides, I don't do scams. Sometimes you get involved with a scam, but you don't know you're involved with a scam.
Right.
And it happens a lot in the telemarketing industry. I know.
Can I add to that comment?
Yeah.
How about the legal field and the medical field, and because those people obviously have been lied to.
And then I was running another call center that turned out to be a scam. They promoted me immediately to managers. I was fucking killing it. I was bringing home $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a week in commissions. I'm going back, decades. And there was this guy Jimmy that hired this guy Jimmy. He was a crack addict. Crack addicts can sell because they need that crack, and they're very good at their craft. And he would actually lay down on the floor, on the phone, and I said, when you see Jimmy, do not disturb him. Walk over him, but do not disturb Jimmy, because he's in the groove. He's in that, right? He's about to pop a sale. I find out that the oil wells we're selling the oil from don't exist. I was out that same day. Boom, resign. Okay. Then I worked for, I did a few telemarketing gigs. I worked for the Fraternal Order of the Police. I get there. I'm so loud that you know those cubicles? I tell the story. My wife knows the story. I get there, and this is in Miami. And my first call, I land a surgeon from the Miami Heart Institute near South Beach, and they said, come by and pick up a check for $25,000.
No way.
True story. I made $2,500 on that sale, 10%. My colleagues had taken pieces of the cubicles and created a roof with a little small opening. They put a light inside because I was so loud. I was disturbed. It was like Wolf of Wall Street. They all came around. First day on the job, first call. They're all clapping at me like, yeah, you just hit the big one. Scam. The Fraternal Order of Police is a scam. When they call you and you get the special badge, It's all bullshit. The whole fucking planet is one big scam. You really want to know the truth.
The
You know?
truths we're gonna learn, man.
Guy, I don't think there's anything left for us to talk about. I think we're talking about everything we needed to talk about.
Listen, if 012626 comes true, I think we're gonna see stuff happening on Saturday. Like bank
What
issues.
happens if XRP, we go all through this year and XRP is still stuck at $2.26?
It's not gonna be, man.
We've said that.
It's not.
We've said that in 2020.
I know.
We've said that in 2019.
Yeah.
We said that in 2021.
We've been wanting it for a while, buddy.
We know, but and they know that it's the one. We know it's the one.
It is.
But they are in charge because we paid them all this money, and now.
Well, listen, they know. We know that they held it back for 4 years, almost 5 years, on the lawsuit because they needed more time.
Right.
Right. They just weren't ready, you know, and they had to keep everybody out it because they don't want to have to pay us back when they buy it back. So that's why. I mean, you go to an XRP Las Vegas event, and there's no other companies on floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3. You're on floor 3, and you're the only one up there.
Yeah.
Come on. And there was.
By the way, getting back to that job where I was promoted to manager, and we were selling oil fields. You know, we were selling sort of like pre-IPOs, right? This is, you know, you got ICOs, right? Initial coin offering.
Right.
Back then it was pre-IPOs, which
Right.
is initial something. I forget what it stands for.
Public offering.
Public offering. There
I
you
went
go.
public with my
Yeah.
first company, by the way.
So, but anyway, the guy on the floor, Jimmy, who was a crack addict, he was my best sales guy.
Right.
That's why I said, don't touch him. The only way he could sell, he could never sell if he's sitting down like a regular person. You're going to sell if he's laying on the floor talking to you.
Whatever,
Wild
yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah.
Wild shit. Yeah. So, but needless to say, man, you know, sometimes you indirectly get involved with shit that you're not supposed to, but and then you find out. And that was not the only one. That was actually when they actually outlawed Quaaludes. I think it was that day that I
80s.
resigned. Yeah, I'm going back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They outlawed Quaaludes. You couldn't get Quaaludes. I know there's a lot of older guys, and you know I'm talking about Quaaludes.
I wasn't one of them.
I wasn't one of them, but I did try a couple of them. Truth be told, but I never got into it. You know what I mean?
That was
Yeah.
that guy.
I think we're done, bro.
I think so. I love you, man.
Thank you for coming, and let's get you that YouTube channel started, brother.
I know it's already in place. We'll get you going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Take care.
The XRP Shaman on Telegram. The THE XRP Shaman. Amber, we're done. Amber, please. It's still recording.
I'm not going to say nothing. She can do this zoom in thing now.
Yeah. We're done.
The door was shut. She didn't hear us.
That was good.
Yeah, it's a good call. I like our little talks.
Yeah, I think in person, the thing's better.
That's why you wear those blue, because of the.
Yeah, this is what bothers me. That doesn't bother me, but this bothers me.
How about screens?
Screens bother me a lot.
They give you headaches?
That's why I wear these.
Yeah.
No, but I'll start tearing within 30, 40 minutes. So
Really?
if I'm in front of a white screen, especially a white YouTube with a white interface, deadly.
Just makes you cry.
That's, and my eyes tear.
I've heard
going
that
like this.
before.
Yeah. So they try to kill you by all means necessary. So you got to figure out how to protect yourself
fucked.
and protect yourself, right? Simple. Amber, this thing is still recording, Amber. Amber? Mink, yo. This thing is still recording, Amber. We need the shot of the guy there. And so it's going to start with the guy on the thing, right? With the